Hey guys, GameBoy3800 here once again, back in Beam, and today, Monster Max 2.0 is pretty much done. Yep, got a brand new paint, got some brand new accessories. These are by Redline. Take a look. Got the sponsor plates, got the hater tiers, got the air pipes up top, got the cut front hood, and are on the newer Chevy body. I have strengthened up the suspension and lightened up the tire, so it should behave a little bit better now, as opposed to, collapsing instantly. So that'll be good. So a little bit insane, I guess, no duh. It's always going to be insane. But it should be able to perform a little bit better now. You can see there we had a pretty off-kilter landing. Nothing broke. So strength definitely improved. Drivability, I won't say it's improved. I'll say it's just about the same. It's insane. Yep, you now actually have a fairly drivable Monster Max 2.0. That's not to say it's like invincible now. It can still break if you're bad. I'll give an example. Because I'm the best at being bad. That's the only thing I can claim. Do a backflip straight onto the front. That steering is totally destroyed, but the suspension held strong. No four-links broke. Everything should still drive if it could have saved it, but that's how it is. The next truck is a huge change, so I will wait for that until later. Here we have Baby Mutant Monster Energy. This is all-wheel drive, and it started right up. You saw in the last testing video that it had a problem starting up with all-wheel drive equipped. That is now fixed. And I have fixed the gear ratio. It's now much happier to rev to and above 10,000 RPM. There you go. Can't quite get 10,000 with the broken BeamNG tachometer, but you'll be able to see it go above 9,000 pretty easily with no issues. Oh dear. It's a less than ideal situation right there. I don't know what happened. But yep. Mini RC truck. Still has the unhinged front diff, but it is a much better, happier to rev now. So we should have some pretty good scale shows coming in the future. Any crashes you see here won't be exactly perfect because this is a much larger scale track. So we'll probably see some odd breakages if we keep driving for too long. I just wanted to show that I have been making progress on the front end of this truck so that it drives as good as it can. All the presets I've made so far will still spawn rear-wheel drive because that still performs the best, but now you won't be at an inherent disadvantage for putting in the front diff. You may even have an advantageous handling characteristic now, being able to save odd front landings. Almost like that. I failed though. Alright, now over to the big change. We got Axe Rampage. This is a pretty standard truck. It is in the meme pack. I had it out for a while. It's got new tires. It may not look like it, but these are brand new special edition tires. Let's take a look at what these are. These are not a rear axle. These are the adjustable BKT tires, front and rear. These, you can change almost everything about them. It's pretty insane. If we come down to the tires, you can see there's as many tire change options as there are suspension tuning options. It's insane. So if we take a look from the top, we have aerodynamic drag, we can adjust how much air is actually hitting these tires. We got regular front tire grip, rear tire grip. We got node weight. We can adjust how many nodes there are in the tire. We can adjust the grip the tires have when sliding. We can adjust their tire pressure up to 30 psi. I think the high pressure BKTs can go up to 40, so they still have some claim to fame. But here, front tire damping, we can go from 100 to 1100 instead of 300 to 900. And we have more grip related things for off-road grip. How much grip is lost when you go off-road. Having it near 1 will mean it loses none. Having it near 0 means it'll be basically a slick tire on dirt. It'll have no grip. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. The coolest thing I want to show you is with the node count one. If we take a look at the truck's J-beam collision triangles here, you can see got 16 nodes around the tire making its shape. You can see that between any 2 points, you look at it dead on, it'll be pretty flat. Like this line to this line, pretty flat line. And it'll be like that for any amount of lines you have, but you can see that doesn't make it a perfectly round shape. What we can do here is double that to 32. Let's see how that changes the look here. Here we go, take a look at this. We now have a lot more nodes that make the shape of the tire, and therefore a more defined ground patch. Now of course you're adding nodes, and each of those nodes has a weight, so that's why I let you change the node weight. So where is the node weight? Here it is up here. We change it to like 3 or 3.5 instead of 5. Ideally you would do 2.5 since it's a straight doubling in nodes, but let's see how this performs. Let's go ahead and make sure that we do that for both so that we don't have like one side massively heavier than the other. Looks like it did. I'm smart. Alright, so take a look at the tires just as we move. You can see there's a little bit of deformation just as we drive normally. That always happens, but now it's in a much smaller patch than if we took a look at it with, the stock amount. Now, because we have more defined nodes, we should have better grip, or at least better contact, so that we can better feel the grip that we do have. Now, it's still too heavy. I'm going to lower it down to as low as it'll go. It'll still be heavier than stock, I think. But it'll be a good show. Oh no, it'll be exactly stock. Because we're doubling the node, but halving the weight. But it should feel comparable to the stock truck. Couldn't exactly get it half. I think normal node weight for the BKTs is 5.4. We lowered it from 5 to 2.5. So it's always going to be a little bit lighter, I think. Just another advantage. But you can increase that to 5.5. Get it more in line, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. You won't notice anything unless you're really looking for it. But yeah. We originally had the idea to make all tires be 32 numeraries, but I think it was found that they caused some axle wobble, so we left it as stock. I think now the suspension has matured enough to the point that we can bring it back without issue. Like, look at that, totally stable through that turn, even though we were sliding pretty hardcore. Oh yeah, that's why we were hesitant to bring that change over. All we did is clip a side berm, but it ruined the rim. But yeah, because there's more definition, the rims don't have that much definition, I don't think. I mean, technically they do, because you can see inner rim also gets that node count, but just something with the way BeamNG handles its tires and rims just doesn't like it when you have that many. So that's why it's not in main mod, but I'm fine with having that in experimental add-ons pack, adjustable add-ons pack. Now we can see that it actually fixed itself just by driving around normally. I'm pretty sure I didn't reset. Okay, let's take a look at this rear left tire. That has become a mess, but if we land a couple of times like on it like that, what happens? There we go. We didn't reset, but it's totally fixed. Don't know how, don't know why. Okay, not totally fixed, but the outside rim is fixed. Inconsistent, we'll call it that. Inconsistent, but cool to look at. Let's go take a look at the other changes we can do. We can reduce the aerodynamic drag. I should make it so that, you know, there's less air being pushed on these huge balls of air. Should make acceleration a little bit easier. I'm not sure if it'll have like less of an effect of like, you know, turning in the air and stuff, but it should be able to correlate pretty well like that. It won't increase the top speed, but because there's less drag, you'll have a little bit better acceleration. And you can also increase the drag if you really want. You do have the option. Base tire grip, we can increase that from 1.36 to 2.0. It should mean we get pretty good like acceleration and turning grip. If we increase the sliding grip, this will mean that the tires will be harder to slide. So here we have slidiness. If we increase this up to 2.0 as well, it'll have the same grip as just going in a straight line. Normally that would be a little bit lower, but we can make them equal if we want. Or you can make it so that you have more grip on sliding if you really wanted to. But here, yep, you can see you can't really slide anymore. Rip, little mutant truck. Axe Rampage gets another one. And then lastly, we have the off-road grip. This is how much grip the tire has when going off-road. Putting it near 1 means it has its basically full amount of grip. Putting it at 0 means you have basically no grip, like a slick tire. Let's see what happens if we put it to 0. Here you saw we have max grip front and rear normally, and when sliding, but what about when off-road? You can see, even though we have so much real grip, if we're on any kind of dirt, we just slide. But if we increase this to be basically 1, 0.99, you can see that it'll be insanely grippy. We can power wheelie just by existing, pretty much. So we have a perfect drag car, but that means if we try to turn, we will instantly grip roll. You can no longer do donuts. You can't slide at all. You'll just fall over. But if you wanted like a race truck, this is what you'd use probably. A little bit insane. Let's go ahead, reset the tune to default, so we can experiment with like the tire pressure and damping, since that's also a thing. We go down here, got the tire pressure up to 30 psi, and we got the damping down to 100 newton meters. I want to see how this affects the tires when we have high pressure. So we have high pressure and low damping. That actually, I'm pretty sure that would make the tires pretty stiff, right? Since there's not a lot of damping. Now let's test that with stock PSI. Stock PSI was 12, right? So low damping, stock pressure. Will this make the tires more or less likely to deform? I don't know. Or I guess it's a sidewall damping, isn't it? Not the whole tire. Looks like they still, can, wiggle around, or not wiggle, get stretched as they grip the ground here. Or is it odd grip roll? I'm not sure if that was normal. Can still slide. Alright, let's try with more damping. All the way up. So we got 1,000 more Newton meters of damping. Would the tire feel more or less squishy? Alright, so having a higher sidewall damping means it's less likely to get the tire to move sideways as it grips the ground. So I guess lower means more overall grip, but more likely to fall over. Interesting. And that was actually a pretty smooth looking landing there. Let's try that again. Oof, that wasn't. I'll try one more time. I want to see if that will smooth out the landing, because the suspension is pretty stock, right? Yeah, look at that. No bouncing at all. So if you want a smoother landing truck, I guess you could do that. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. And just as like a comparison, what happens if we do that same kind of jump with damping all the way down? I actually did both at once. Look at that. I don't know how I did that. So, low damping, landing a jump, much more of a bounce. So if you want a smoother landing, increase damping rate. That is interesting. I did not know that. Rip Halo. I think that's going to be it for this video. Monster Max 2.0. Looking good. The Halfscale truck. Looking better and better. And then these adjustable BKTs have so much tuning potential, it's actually insane. That's going to be it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed, you can leave a like, favorite, comment, share. And of course, don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks, Gameboy. I'll see you all in the future. Let's go ahead and do another pile up. Bleh. Goodbye, everybody.